Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, everyone, welcome back. So we had a beautiful opportunity to offer our deep gratitude to Parashakti, the form of various offerings. So next is the most beautiful compassion and love of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, how he has opened up the doors of Adi Kailasa and various Kailasas in India, Sarvanya Peetams in India, just to protect the humanity. So next segment we'll be actually seeing Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine opportunity for India, especially during this COVID-19 second wave, as a practical solution for health, joy, and bliss. So before that, let us watch this small video clip of revelation of Devi Parashakti on the 31st of May 2021. So she especially described about the Kirimi Bhojanam. So what is Kirimi Bhojanam hell that has opened up in India? First, let us listen to Swamiji, and then we will move on to what exactly she said, and we'll be translating whatever Devi Parashakti has said.
நீ சொல்லும் நபர்கள் போடும் சண்டை சச்சரவெல்லாம் எரியும் பெருநெருப்பில் இருக்கும் இரண்டு எலிகள் போடும் சண்டை போன்றது. யார் சரி யார் தவறென்பது இப்பொழுது முக்கியம் அல்ல. உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், எல்லோரும் நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். நன்மையைச் சொல்லுகின்றேன், உண்மையைச் சொல்லுகின்றேன். இந்திய நாட்டில் இருக்கும் மக்கள் எல்லோரும் கேளுங்கள். கருட புராணத்தில் வியாசன் சொன்ன கிருமி போஜனம் என்னும் நரகம் திறந்து நேரடியாய் இந்தியா மீது இடிபோல் விழுகின்றது. ஆதி கைலாசத்திற்கு ஓடிச் சென்று வருமுன் காத்துக்கொள்வது மட்டுமே ஒரே வழி. கொரோனா பெருந்தொற்று கொள்ளை நோய் கிருமி போஜனம் எனும் நரகத்தை பூமிக்கு கொண்டு வந்து விட்டது. அகோர தாண்டவத்தின் ஆட்டம் யாராலும் அடக்க முடியாத அளவிற்கு ஆரம்பித்து விட்டது. புதிதாய் உருக்கொண்டிருக்கும் இந்த நுண்ணுயிரி மைல்கள் கடந்தும் காற்றினில் உயிரோடு இருந்து மற்ற உயிர்களையும் அழித்து உடல்களை தின்னும் பெரும் வலிவு கொண்ட பேரசுரர்களாய் வலம் வரத் துவங்கி விடுகின்றது. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். வருமுன் காத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், அது ஒன்றே வழி. அதற்காகவே ஆதி கைலாசத்தை திறந்து வைத்திருக்கின்றேன். உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டி விரும்பும் எல்லோரும் ஓடுங்கள் ஆதி கைலாசத்திற்கு. இந்தியாவில்தான் இந்த நரகம் திறந்து உலகெங்கும் பரவப் போகின்றது. கிருமி போஜன நரகம் பூமிக்கு வந்துவிட்டது மனிதர்கள் செய்த மகா கொடுமைகளினால். அன்னை முன்னின்று என் அடியவரைக் காப்பேன் சொல்வதைக் கேட்டு உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ள விரும்புவோர் வருமுன் காப்பது ஒன்றே வழி என்று தெரிந்து செல்லுங்கள் ஆதி கையிலைக்கு. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம். நீ சொல்லும்.
Yes. So what exactly Parashakti had revealed on the 31st of May 2021? So this is the translation. Everyone in India, all of you listen. The hell of Krimi Bhojanam that was mentioned by Vyasa in the Garuda Puranam has opened, and it is directly falling on the India as a thunder. Running to Adi Kailasa and protection from it is the only way, and the deadly corona life-taking disease has brought the hell known as Kirmi Bhojanam to the planet Earth. The dance of Agora Tandava, which no one could control, has started. This microorganism that has formed will be alive in air for miles together, destroying other souls. It will eat bodies. It has started roaming as great demons with tremendous strength. Understand properly, prevention is the only way. For that, I have opened Adi Kailasa. For those who want to save their lives, all of you run to Adi Kailasa. Only in India, this hell is going to open and is going to spread to the whole world. The Krimi Bhojanam hell has come to the earth because of the sufferings done by the humans. So this is exactly what Parashakti has revealed. So all of us listen carefully. She also continues to say, Mother, I will protect those at my feet, those who listen to me and wish to save their lives, learning that prevention is the only way. Go to Adi Kailasa. So these are the actually exactly what Parashakti had revealed. So many of you might be wondering, what is Krimi Bhojanam? So Krimi Bhojanam is one of the 28 hells which are described in the Hindu scriptures, where people are actually sent to suffer in a pit to be eaten up by worms. So this is a reference in the Garuda Purana, Devi Bhagavata Purana in chapter 21 and 22, the Shiva Purana in chapter 16, Skanda Purana in chapter 12, chapter 2, chapter 30, the Brahma Purana in chapter 20 and chapter 106, Padma Purana in chapter 48. If you see the world 2021, the state of the world today, we can see 3 million total deaths, 139.9 million of COVID confirmed cases, with at least 12,744 new deaths every day. And there is an increasing spread of the COVID-19 cases, deaths, and vaccine doses administered. You can actually very clearly see in this graph. So along with that, you can see the various, after Parashakti has revealed, even the news articles have also been saying that the world's most infectious disease is now airborne. So COVID is airborne, and it is very, very serious and very dangerous now. And the news article from the Mint, it also says America's delayed acceptance of airborne COVID transmission. So even the World Health Organization and the CDC made this official. So this very clearly proves that this virus, this disease is now becoming airborne, and the COVID threat through airborne COVID threat is literally confirmed. So if you see this article, which describes about the key difference in transmission. When there is a droplet transmission from a COVID positive patient, the coughs and sneezes can spread droplets of saliva and mucus, where the droplet size itself is more than 5 microns. But when it is airborne, you won't even know the tiny particles, which is possibly produced by talking. They are actually suspended in the air for longer and it travels further because it is lesser than 5 microns. It is even difficult to find out, and that is why it is more dangerous and deadly when it is airborne. So this is some of the statistics of the current state of Tamil Nadu, the COVID status in Tamil Nadu. So 10,072 confirmed cases with 9,983 active cases, out of which there is 26 recovered and 63 dead. And you can see the various new cases and deaths in the graph each day when there is uh, new cases being reported every day and new death rate. And number of deaths are higher when compared to the first wave. So you can see, especially in the region of Chennai in Tamil Nadu, these are the various statistics that are being projected. You can see only in Chennai there are totally 294,000 positive cases, out of which 4,450 deaths, and most commonly affecting the age groups between 30 to 39. And this is also a tracker which shows status in various districts across Tamil Nadu, like Chennai, Chengalpattu, Coimbatore, Tanjavur, Tirupur. This is the statistics across these various states of Tamil Nadu, and the vaccination status, where most importantly, even the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, the cops, totally around 20,000 people who have been affected. And next is the current status of the COVID-19 second wave affecting the state of Maharashtra in India. So you can see more than 57,76,184 cases and 96,000, out of which 96,000 death rate. So each day there is an increase in the death in the state of Maharashtra, and you can see the rise in the graph each day, the number of deaths and the status of the bed capacity and the beds, oxygen, the ICU bed capacity, the ventilator capacity, everything is decreasing with the upsurge of COVID-19 second wave across the various hospitals in the state of Tamil Nadu and across India. So this is the case summary in Mumbai, and also different confirmed cases and health infrastructure. The health infrastructure is literally collapsing. It is not able to support because of the increasing impending pandemic cases. Now we come to the most important aspect, where the Supreme Pontiff had actually very clearly revealed in his satsang that multi-layer quarantine is essential. Home quarantine is not possible. So this is exactly a supporting news article which has been projected to you now. So the home quarantine is not possible in India. It is a statement made by the Indian government itself. So the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, he very clearly says that home quarantine is one prime reason for the large number of deaths during the second wave of COVID-19. So number one, he says several people cannot be isolated because of the crowded people, 4 to 5 people stay in one single room, and they do not keep pulse oximeters. Even if they do keep pulse oximeters, they do not read the counts properly in the meter. So this is what exactly even the Supreme Pontiff have said. Even if you're staying inside the house, any one of your inmate of the house has to go out to buy the basic groceries and the basic vegetables. So when you come back, literally, if that person is infected, the whole house is going to be infected with COVID-19. So literally, the home quarantine, the idea of home quarantine is impossible in India. So even the one more article has been projected from the Economic Times, where Maharashtra, it ends home isolation in 18 districts. Patients from these districts have to go to a quarantine center, because very clearly the government itself is taking up this decision to ensure better healthcare facilities to the patients. And one on why home quarantine is impossible for majority of Indians. So here is one more article which says about 41% of the houses have just a single room which is shared by about 5 people. So this itself states it's impossible. So exactly what the Supreme Pontiff has been saying, that home quarantine is not possible and multi-layered quarantine is literally essential. So one more news article which says self-isolation for COVID-19 is impossible for 40% of Indian families because on an average, 3 or more people were sharing one room. And this is a challenge to physical distancing, which is greater in rural areas than in urban areas. So this is one of the articles. So where the COVID-19 crisis, where is the space for home quarantine in cities? So it is nearly becoming impossible, particularly in urban households. Yes. So as we are seeing all these articles, when the first world countries are closing their borders using a massive global emergency, it is Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism out of his deep compassion. It is only Kailasa which has opened its doors to all without any exception. So if you see, when the whole world is closing out its borders, closing out its territories, its boundaries, everything, for people to stay home quarantined, now Kailasa is actually opening up the doors to everyone without exemption. So if you see, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he already had revealed that at least 6 months back, I became aware that multi-layer quarantine is needed to protect people. And if you are in India and you want to protect your immediate family or extended family, anyone who will listen to you, get them immediately to our campuses. So this is what exactly the Supreme Pontiff has revealed in his satsang. So out of his deep compassion and love for the humanity to give the best protection and preventive COVID care, he has opened up his Kailasas across India. So these are the various free COVID care centers which are opened across India. The Adi Kailasa in Bedidi, Bangalore, the Salem Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Tiruvannamalai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Rajapalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Puduvai Adinam, the Pattanam Adinam, the Siragapadi Adinam, the Sripuram Adinam, in Hyderabad, in Madurai Adinam, Avatipalayam, Erode Adinam, Hosur Adinam, and the Baroda Adinam in Gujarat. So how is Kailasa and the Supreme Court of Hinduism rushing to help India as it really finds itself difficult to protect and save the lives of various people? So number one, by multiple free COVID care centers which are opened across India, and these centers were actually displayed in the previous slide. So through various COVID care centers, giving you multi-layer quarantine, various social services offered during this pandemic in the Nithyananda ashrams across India, various spiritual services which are offered during this pandemic, and cosmic revelations by directly from Devi Parashakti on the global pandemic. So moving to what are the free social services which are offered during this pandemic in Nithyananda ashrams and various Kailasas across India. Number one is medical care. So allopathy, so perfect setup infrastructure, all the medications with all the oxygen concentrators, pulse oximeter, the in-house ICU on wheels, with the ambulance, which is completely available for any kind of medical emergency situations, and the support of holistic medicine through Ayurveda and Siddha medicine, and the fire safety equipment maintenance, infrastructure to accommodate thousands of people who are going to be reaching Kailasa and who are reaching and who have been reaching for the protective and preventive COVID care, accommodation for the multi-layered quarantine, the emergency ambulances, the ICU on wheels, personal protective medical equipment, groceries which are collected for the Annadan for people who are reaching Kailasa, and organic farming. So you can actually join the COVID care protection centers which were actually listed below, and you can register through the link below with kailasa.org/Kailasa care. So we keep this link projected for you for a few minutes so that you can actually go ahead. Anyone who wants to save your life, because the Supreme Court has very clearly said this whole year, the only profit for any one of you is keep yourself alive, stay alive. Nothing, everything else, even enlightenment, is only secondary. So keep yourself alive. So you can now join any one of the COVID care protection centers immediately by registering through this link, kailasa.org/Kailasa care. So we keep this link projected for you for the next few minutes for you to sign up, and we'll get back after a short break.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda.
So with that, we will move on to the next segment of how is this multi-layered quarantine which is being offered in Adi Kailasa. So what are the various preventive precautionary measures which are being taken? So these are the glimpses from the Kailasa's Department of Health on COVID protection for the Adi Kailasa Sapagnapita. So these are the various immune boosters and the COVID care supplements which are being procured. So first is in the allopathic immune boosters, the zinconia, the vitamin D and vitamin C is available. And even through Ayurvedic medicine, the immunity boosters are being provided to protect all the residents of the Adi Kailasa Sapagnapita. So what are the immune boosters which are being given every day on a daily basis? So steaming once a day with tulsi, eucalyptus, mochi and turmeric leaves. And all these herbal leaves are taken from the healing trees which are grown in Adi Kailasa. And twice a week consumption of the Kabasura Kudineer, a mixture of pepper, ginger and cloves and other ingredients extensively aimed for boosting the lungs, improving the respiratory system and treating infectious conditions such as cough, cold and fever. And the Nilavembu Kudineer to be taken once a week, the Agasthyar Legium 5 days, Kalisadi Vatakam 3 to 4 tablets per day for 5 days, the Indu Ghanta Kashayam and Amrutottara Kashayam both for 5 days, 1 teaspoon with 50 ml of warm water. So each of these immune boosters are given to each and every resident of Kailasa and those who are actually reaching Kailasa out of deep compassion. So this is the utmost protection anybody can receive if you are in the multi-layered quarantine inside the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapita. So the next is Sudarshana Gulika once every 5 days. Next is gargling with salt and turmeric twice a day. And apart from that, a very beautiful spiritual routine of Panchakriya, cleansing and detoxing your body. Haritaki, having Haritaki, castor oil, neem juice, and the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, yoga, Trinetra Kumbhaka Pranayama, and the puja. Yes. So now we'll move on to the basic sanitization and the safety practices which are actually ensured in the Adi Kailasa. So disposal of soiled pads, infected material, and non-biodegradables which are done through incineration. The RO water systems for drinking water, cleansing and sanitization of overhead tanks, regular de-weeding, maintenance and repair of electrical circuits. The communication facilities are actually in place for the safety of the residents and the compost pit filling with biodegradables. Yes. So many of you will be having a doubt. So what is the diagnosis, the quarantine methodology which has been adopted in the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham? So once you want to actually reach Adi Kailasa or any one of these Kailasas which are listed, so you can actually sign up in the link which is projected, and then you need to take an RT-PCR test and get the report of the test. So immediately upon arrival on the campus, you will be quarantined for 15 days, and then the swab test, the RT-PCR, will be repeated on you during your quarantine period on the 5th day, and all the food handlers will be wearing masks, gloves, and keeping up the social distancing, and the disposal of waste food to be done with the glove and masks, and the gloves and masks in turn will be actually disposed by incineration. So in case of any emergency, so there are protective kits which are already available, ready at hand to take the COVID positive patient to hospital. And hand washing and infection control, which has been actually uh, maintained. So washing hands as often thoroughly with soap and water or with alcohol-based hand sanitizer, stored in a sealed plastic cover, washed with detergent, and it can be reused later. So you can see the N95 mask, which has been actually prescribed for this COVID second wave, is being actually given to each and every Adinavasi. Next, most important is the face shield for the people who are handling the vendors and outsiders, especially when they are in the first line of quarantine. So the first face shield will be provided as an extra protective care for the people at the gate who are interacting with the vendors. So they will be given sanitizer, hand washing, regular steaming, the preventive kashayams, the turmeric saltwater gargling, and bathing with washing of clothes with history of any exposure. So if they have any symptoms like cough or fever or difficulty in breathing, they will be immediately informed by the medical team, and the care will be taken. So now we have these standard operating procedures, the quarantine rules. So what is the first line of quarantine? So people in the first circle who are at the gate, who are actually in contact with the vendors, so their area of stay will be confined to the outermost area where the communication with the outside world is happening. So they will be staying in a well-ventilated single room with an attached separate toilet facilities, and they will not anyways come in contact with the inmates of the campus. So especially elderly people, especially pregnant women, children, and people with comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes, heart problem, asthma. So his movement inside the campus will be restricted within the area or room. That is the first line of quarantine. And after that, any package delivery which is actually reaching the Adi Kailasa or any campus, see, all the parcels will be received at the gate. They will be sanitized, they sprayed with the disinfectant. And every delivery will be contactless. Even if the vendor comes, it will be contactless delivery. So wearing of face masks, hand gloves will be mandatory. And optionally, the product will be actually left in a protected and isolated place, and there will be a contactless delivery. And the outer packaging of the item, the product, will be disposed before even it enters inside the campus. And the packages will be actually literally quarantined before being delivered to the concerned authorities. And all the delivery bags, boxes, and containers will be thrown away after transferring the items to the respective places. And the surfaces of the package will be actually cleaned with a simple disinfectant and left to dry. And all the hands, all the people who are handling these packages will be thoroughly washed with soap, water, and antibacterial solution to prevent any contamination and transmission. And all the mailed packaged products, the non-perishable, it will be left outside for 24 hours before using them. And the disinfection with sodium hypochlorite, bleach, or chlorine will be used with 1 teaspoon of bleaching powder in 3 cups, and alcohol at 70 to 90% will also be used for the surface disinfection. The clothes will be washed separately with detergent and dried, and sharing of items strictly prohibited, and this will prevent the spread of the virus. So these are the various standard operating methodologies which will be followed, which are followed in Adi Kailasa and various Kailasas. So what are the warning signs? So if you have fever for more than 5 days, Fever returns in the second wave after having been afebrile for a day or two. Fever is more than 101 degree Fahrenheit after the fourth day. The resting heart rate is more than 110. You have breathlessness and tightness in the chest. And the oxygen saturation is less than 94% when it is actually read on the pulse oximeter. And every participant will also be actually guided to a 6-minute walk test, which is like the saturation rate will be recorded before and after you're walking briskly for 6 minutes. So if the oxygen saturation, it falls more than 3%, it is not favorable, and if it is less than 94%, it is also not good. So these are the various warning signs, and these specific COVID care will also be taken if any of these warning signs are actually seen in the Adinavasi or in the people who reach Kailasa, the quarantined people, and relentless cough, continuous coughing. So if you see all these beautiful multi-layered quarantine COVID care measures, you can see the literal compassion. And the whole world has closed out due to this impending pandemic on the humanity. And people don't know what to do. Even home quarantine is impossible. Even the government has declared. Now Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff, has, out of compassion, has opened up the doors with all the infrastructure available to protect yourself and prevent the second wave of COVID, and not only that, prevent and save your life from the third wave of COVID. So you can see the in-campus ambulance, which is completely equipped with all the pulse oximeters and everything which is necessary, even if there is any kind of an emergency situation. The second line of quarantine. So now we move to the second line of quarantine. So prevention is the best medicine. So people who come in as newly will be given a separate room. So once you enter Adikalas, you'll be given a separate room with separate toilet facility, and under no circumstance you will be allowed to exit the room. And the designated quarantine person picks up the food. So you will be allotted a person who will be giving you the food, and he will picks up the food after the person who serves the food is at a safe distance of 6 feet, and the food will be placed outside the door. And when you're in quarantine, so your temperature will be monitored, your pulse rate, your oxygen saturation levels will be monitored every day once. And more often, if you're symptomatic, you'll be actually monitored more. And you'll be given the medications if you're symptomatic with the temperature more than 99 degree Fahrenheat, with good hydration, giving you nutritious diet, steam inhalation twice a day, salt and turmeric hot water gargling twice daily. And you will be given Ayurvedic and Siddha medication as per instructions. And if you have any symptoms and it is worsening, for specific management, the medical team will be contacted with further consultation, investigations, and you will be given the treatment. And you will be continue to take your medications if you already have blood sugar, if you already have blood pressure or any kind of a heart ailment, and you're taking medications for that, you will also be asked to continue the medications. And if the conditions are at higher risk, then the medical team will be consulted and you will be taken care of that. So the residents on medication will be asked to bring 2 months of the supply of the medication till the campus is able to organize the medications for you. And you'll be asked to take long, deep breaths, pranayama, lying in a prone position as much as possible so that the lung expands as well. Yes. So now, so when you are asymptomatic, when you don't have any symptoms, you will come out of quarantine after 15 days, and the test will not be repeated if you're clinically well and there is no symptoms in you. And if at all you are symptomatic, there are symptoms persisting in you, you will need to be retested, and you will need a medical opinion, and necessary investigations and treatment methodologies will be taken care. Yes. So in the second line of quarantine, these are the common symptoms which will be looked out for. Number 1 is fever, sore throat, fatigue, which is excess tiredness, cough, mostly dry or wet cough in some people, body aches, headache, loose stools and vomiting, loss of sense of smell, loss of sense of taste, exhaustion, giddiness, and fainting. So if you actually see all these previously mentioned symptoms will be provided with immediate evaluation and hospital care if you are symptomatic. So early detection of these warning signs and identifying the timeline is very, very crucial for better outcome. So these symptoms will be monitored very closely, and most important thing that needs to be done. So when the identifying the day one of symptoms is very crucial in the management with respect to monitoring and the treatment protocols. So day one would be when the first symptom has started. Maybe you had a cough or you had a fever. So investigation will actually start on for identifying the possible source of contact. So all the people who have come in close contact the past 3 to 6 feet range with the primary case in last 3 days, they will be isolated and monitored for the symptoms as well. And infectivity starts in 3 days before the onset of symptoms. And the infected person actually literally sheds the virus till 9 days. So till 15 days, why is the first layer of quarantine is done? Because till 9 days, the virus is active inside of you. And any of the above symptoms in various combinations, it signals the possibility of COVID. So even though the same symptoms can happen with any viral infection in a pandemic, it is to be considered as possible diagnosis until proven otherwise. So any rare presentations like rash on the body, bluish discoloration of the fingers and toes, sudden onset of breathlessness, heart attack, strokes, paralysis of the limbs. So any suspect case will be isolated immediately. Yes. So an RT-PCR test will be taken if you are symptomatic immediately, and the contacts whoever has come in contact with the person will be monitored for symptoms and will be tested if there are any symptoms are showing up, or else to wait for 5 days if they continue to be asymptomatic. So we can actually differentiate between it is a symptom of a normal fever or symptom of fever because of COVID. And a negative report will ensure that you can move into the community. So each of the groups, the group which is quarantined, will be actually taken care by one of the leads, which is assigned by the medical team. So only that assigned member, will be tasked of taking care of the quarantined person. So he will be using all the COVID care measures like using masks, social distancing, sanitizing, cleaning the surfaces, and when he's handling any soiled linen of the quarantined individuals. So he'll be actually following all these measures. So no visitors will be allowed in the vicinity of the people who are quarantined. And in case the person being quarantined, he becomes asymptomatic, all the close contacts will be taken care and followed up for an additional 15 days until we get the report as negative on the lab testing. So these are the various things which will actually are followed in Adi Kailasas. We have a lot of people who have reached the Kailash and various Kailasas in India. So what is the environmental sanitization that is being taken care? So clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces in the quarantined person's room. Like when you're quarantined, your room will be completely disinfected. Toilet surfaces will be disinfected with a well-built solution. Your clothes and other linen will be separately disinfected. So these are the various measures and methodologies which are actually taken care in Adi Kailasa Sarvagna. So the Adinavasis and the various devotees and disciples who are coming into the campus must take the following medical tests. So the test will be now projected to you, and the results should be sent to our medical in charge, Dr. Ma Santana Lakshmi. You can email it to her at ma.santanalakshmi@nithyanandauniversity.org. And the results will also be reviewed by the medical team at the ASJP Female Campus, Dr. Ratna Niranjana, Santana Lakshmi, and Ma Chandravidya. So what are all the medical tests you need to be taking along with your RT-PCR test is a complete blood count with peripheral smear, blood group type, fasting and postprandial blood sugar, your renal function tests, blood urea and serum creatinine, VDRL test, HBsAg, your HIV, thyroid functions, the serum T3, T4 and TSH, ECG, liver function test and the lipid profile test. So these are the various medical tests you need to take before you reach Lhasa, and you need to get your RT-PCR test for the COVID-19 taken 2 days before that, at least 48 hours before coming into the campus, and you have to send it to the email address which is actually mentioned here to get your clearance before you enter into the campus. So once the test results are actually reviewed by the medical team, it will communicate to the administration of the respective Adinam and you can reach the campus as mentioned based on your reply. So once communicated, so you should come to the Adinam within 24 to 48 hours of the test. And if there are any pre-existing medical issues that you're actually already having blood pressure or diabetes or any other chronic diseases or any comorbid situation, you can also bring in your recent reports and prescription from your attending doctor, and a medical form will need to be filled in by all the new occupants when you reach the campus, and a legal disclaimer will also be required to be signed. So once you reach the campus, all of you will be quarantined for 15 days and you'll be monitored for any kind of a temperature rise, oxygen status using the pulse oximeter and other symptoms during the period of your quarantine. And anyone, if you're symptomatic, then you will be reported, you'll be isolated, and the designated quarantine person will be responsible to monitor your pulse with the pulse oximeter and temperature every day, and based on that, your reports will be carried out. So the equipment whichever will be given to the quarantine team, it will be sanitized after every use by each and every person, and the knowledge for the same will be given to the medical team. And all your recordings, your reports will be reviewed by the medical team every day. And during the quarantine period, you will be given certain Ayurvedic and Siddha preparations and steaming twice daily, saline and turmeric water gargle, and other immune boosters, which we had already mentioned, also will be given to you as caregivers, as to be, and everything will be followed very strictly. So, what are the other rules and regulations? Once you finish your period of quarantine after 15 days, then you can be out of quarantine and you can become a part of the community living in the Adinam. But the basic guidelines which are actually followed in the Adinam will be maintained, like smoking, drinking, drug, substance abuse will be strictly prohibited. Consumption of non-vegetarian food is strictly prohibited. Illicit sex is strictly prohibited. And following the basic etiquette like wearing traditional Indian clothing, personal and environmental cleanliness, and hygiene. Yes. So the next, once you reach the Adinam after your quarantine, how is the sanitation and of the Adinam maintained? So the following measures will help prevent in the spread of infections like any kind of a small cold or flu or stomach bugs. So make sure, like we will ensure that all the places are clean, and like desks, the tables which are used by people, the telephones, the keyboards, everything will be wiped with a disinfectant and ensure that it is clean and hygienic. And regular hand washing will be promoted for Adinavasis and those who have reached Kailasa, and keeping sanitizing hand rub dispensers in prominent places around the workspace, and making sure that these dispensers are also regularly refilled, and the display posters promoting the hand washing, like washing kills the virus on your hand and prevents the spread of infection. So promoting good respiratory hygiene in the workplace, display posters promoting respiratory hygiene. Good respiratory hygiene prevents the spread of infection. So anyone with mild cough or low grade fever, they say they will be monitored by the health personnel with isolation, and even if the symptoms are mild, and they will be given the surgical masks like N95 face masks in their quarantine room, and medications like paracetamol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen may be given, and ensure and pre-order the sufficient supplies and materials including masks, tissues, and hand sanitizers for all the inmates. So in case of any emergency, those who have reached Kailasa, or emergency for the Adinavasi to leave the campus, so these are the various travel precautions would be taken. So mostly the travel outside the campus will be discussed with the medical department, and nobody can leave the campus without any proper approval. So the plan will be like it should cover putting the ill person in an area where they are isolated from others, and the local health authorities will be notified, and the medical team will have a working relationship with a good hospital, adjacent hospital, for any case of a medical emergency. And emergency contact numbers of the hospital will be noted down, will be given to all the medical team members and the admins for any kind of an immediate reference. So now you can see the picture of oxygen concentrators, which are actually completely and fully equipped in our campuses in Kailasa, especially in Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham, to handle any kind of an emergency medical situation. Yes. So now In this most impending condition of COVID-19 second wave, the pandemic, which is affecting the people at large and taking away the lives of lakhs of people, especially in India. The Supreme Pontiff, out of his deep compassion and love, has opened up the doors of Kailasa just only to protect our lives. So he doesn't have any other vested interest in it. So just to save your life and protect yourself, he has given this huge opportunity for humanity. And you can join any one of our COVID care protection centers and register through the link below. So kailasa.org /Kailasa care. And you can also post your comments in the YouTube live chat. Any of your questions or doubts or any comments, you can post it in the YouTube live chat. So we will keep this link projected for you for the next few minutes. And we'll be right back after a short break.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda, welcome back, dear viewers. Now, yes, seeing a lot of you who have been commenting and a lot of people who have been sharing this with us. Sorry for the technical glitch. Hope all of you are able to see us and hear us. Actually, just wanted to share with all of you that yes, this Adi Kailash ship is open for all of you. How many of you here are actually, if you all can start posting your names and which country you are from, how is this COVID situation around your place? How is it? How is it like a lot of deaths are happening, or how exactly is this whole thing in your place? Do share this with us. You can just leave it in the comments, in the comment section. You can post it as comments under this YouTube video. What Swamiji is doing is something phenomenal than like anyone can comprehend of. You all the people that are watching us right now, look at your own workplace or your own decisions that you're making in life or your own countries. How many of them have started curbing down their services? How many of them have already started thinking of withdrawing as much as possible and like closing their doors? They might be charitable, but not completely opening to help people. You will just look at your own places. You would be understanding what we are sharing. Did you know more than 40 million people in India are homeless? Homeless. People don't have a place to stay. And this is in India. And so many countries have shut their doors to India. But despite that being the place where persecution had happened, despite that whole country persecuting the avatar, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, still, out of his utmost compassion, just to save humanity, he has opened his own homes, his very own homes, just to save humanity. How do all of you feel regarding this? You all can actually interact with us in the YouTube live chat. I'm seeing a lot of you, Manjari Shukla, Rangarajan Rajanaya, Ma Nitya Maha Agraganyananda, and Kumaran, Krishna Mudaliyar, Bhuma Devi, Pratik Shivach, Angela McCurry,
Joseph Price, and Shiva Yuda, and Lina Forbin, Sumi Muraliaya, all of you. Just imagine at this point in time, as we all saw in the news, not just that countries are shutting down and everybody's insecure, unsure of what is lying ahead in the future for them. And hence everybody out of that insecurity is first wanting to protect their lives and not wanting to take that risk, and people are all wanting to shut down any kind of services that they can offer or any of these sort. People are closing their businesses, all vacation centers are closing, and countries are blocking flights, closing borders to another countries. So many such things are happening at this point in time. When Swamiji has opened the doors of Kailasa to provide protective, preventive care facilities, even when government officials have announced, telling that it has to be, home quarantine, etc. There was Swamiji who told the truth to the world that it's impractical to have home quarantine. How are you going to quarantine when you're going to be interacting with people who have COVID?
Actually, that is the exact reason why, instead of home quarantine, now 18 districts in India has started quarantine centers.
Absolutely. Just as you all saw, just 18 districts in Maharashtra alone have shut. They have all opened down quarantine centers, and they've all stopped home quarantine. And
But
also,
it's extremely late. The decision came up only on 25th of May 2021. But the decision is too late. So many lives are already lost, still continuing to be lost. But Swamiji had opened up this, had announced about this, prepared for this. So many, for accommodating so many people, at least 3 years before. Swamiji started in 2019. Swamiji started telling about, actually from 2016, Swamiji is emphasizing again and again to save water, to do our own organic farming. And Swamiji was continuously telling that we have to do vertical gardening. And the degree to which that actually mattered for current day humanity, it is astounding to remember that now, because I'm seeing how this is exactly what is the only solution. Understand, Swamiji is the only hope for humanity. Actually, all of you can tweet with this hashtag, only hope for humanity. All of you can tweet how you are feeling about this, telling how Swamiji is the only hope for humanity. I request the NTV operator to kindly project this hashtag. Hashtag only hope for humanity. I repeat, hashtag only hope for humanity. Use this hashtag and tweet how you are feeling about what Swamiji is sharing, what Swamiji is showering upon us is the only savior. Actually, all of you need to know. So in 2016, Swamiji is emphasizing so much on, restarting to do our own gardening and our own farming. In 2019, Swamiji started preparing everyone, telling every Adinam in India to start cultivating large lands, telling we are going to be doing Annadan in a huge mass level, much more than all of you can imagine. People didn't understand. But just because Swamiji said, many of the Adinams started it. In 2020, when the pandemic was still considered as an epidemic by the WHO, and that's how everyone knew it, there is something happening in China, and that's all people knew about it. At that time, Swamiji had meeting with all the Kailashians and said that this is not a small epidemic, like how the media is trying to portray. The deaths are much, much more. The way it's going to happen, people are going to die on road. People are just going to be dropping dead on the road. And all of us are going to be seeing all those happening. So it is Kailasa's spiritual responsibility to be a hope, be the savior for humanity at this time, to take responsibility for humanity at that time. This was an early start of just the epidemic. It was not even considered as a pandemic at that time. Swamiji said, all of us need to start stocking a lot of grains, start cultivating a lot of vegetables, a lot of food items, build huge infrastructure ready to be able to accommodate huge people. None of us understood, because at that time the Adinams were still closed to public. Nobody had access to it.
And not just that, it was not even the whole pressure of the pandemic or the whole the gory future that was laying ahead was not even smelt by any of us. It was, yes, there was a pandemic, but not to this degree.
It was not even, if you remember, it was just in the early time where I think it's the month of Jan, Feb, where it was still considered as an epidemic. I remember this so clearly because just that morning I was reading a news article and it was talking about the virus, and like people started warning about it. And that's when like very few cases were identified and people were identified with such cases in the US and India and very less number of countries. And it was still considered as an epidemic, but it was considered as an epidemic, and WHO started warning about it. So I was just looking at that article, and in very short span of time, I heard that Swamiji had conducted an Adinavasis meeting, and the Adinavasis were sharing that this is what Swamiji had shared. Nobody could cognize what Swamiji was telling, because see, when you're looking around and everything seems to be fine, but Swamiji knows the future. That's why he was warning in the early of 2020 itself that people are going to be dying on road, people are going to be hungry, and we need to be providing them food. And Swamiji also said that it's even water would be not safe, it's going to be contaminated. So we need to be providing all this completely free of cost as a service to humanity. First, something that is unfathomable for us. Second, why is Swamiji doing all this so much to a country that persecuted him? Yet his divine compassion, something that you can't even comprehend, that you can't even understand. So Swamiji said, so at that time, then Swamiji started like telling everyone to stop everything. And as you all know, the first wave of pandemic was over, and people thought everything's back to normal. Things started returning back to normal. Travel opened up. Yet Swamiji came back again to the satsangs. Swamiji said, no, pandemic is not over as you think. The spiritual pralaya is over, but this is a man-made bio-war. So nobody understood. Because what was happening as what we were seeing was something different. In just a matter of days, suddenly the deaths peaked up. Horrendous news started pouring in from different directions. Again, it was exactly like what Swamiji warned us. Then Swamiji opened up his own homes with the multi-layered quarantine facility, something that even if you have billions, trillions, home quarantine will not work out. And it's only the multi-layered quarantine with its specific procedure, only that would work out. And it was really amazing when Swamiji actually opened up the doors of Kailasa. And today we have thousands of people from across India just pouring into the Alinams just to stay alive.
Actually, we have Manjari Shukla who's commenting, Swamiji is a true miracle for humanity. We have Kapileshwar Mishra Ayya who's saying good morning and how to meet Swamiji, Nithyananda Maya. And every day, digitally, Swamiji is making himself available. You can definitely come morning Indian Standard Time, evening at both times we have darshans happening. So morning it will be 2 a.m. Indian Standard Time program starting, and 6 a.m. approximately darshan will happen. And then in the evening we'll have 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time, the program starting, and approx around 8 p.m. we'll have the darshan. So to all those who want to know how you can meet Swamiji, Swamiji is available every day, making himself available for humanity through so many events, programs, and being here digitally available for all of us as well. So you all can stay tuned to the same platform, Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, Kailasa's Nithyananda TV, and Kailasa's Hinduism Now, and Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, it's SPHJGM, HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. So in so many platforms, Swamiji is available, and yes, you can meet Swamiji digitally every day, wherever you are, just a few clicks away. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you get enlightenment as a notification on your phone at the time that you need it at the most. Swamiji will come to you just as a notification on your phone.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And today, with this, we have come to the conclusion of this segment. And before we enter into the power manifestation session, we would love to hear from all of you, all the viewers. Go ahead, comment here. on the YouTube chat, live chat. How are you feeling about Swamiji being the only hope for humanity? How are you experiencing it? How are you seeing, what is the COVID situation in your place? Do share with us. Because your sharing actually is going to be changing someone's life. You might never know. You might be sharing something, and we might be having some random person, someone who just suddenly stumbled upon this video, who is just pausing and listening to it for a few seconds, and they might have that connection. The being might be waiting to have that connection with Swamiji. They might just be looking at this out of curiosity. But when you share your experience, that connection will just get clicked, and they will get connected to Swamiji and save themselves. Because it's very critical that right now, especially people from India, need to get quarantined in the multi-layered quarantine. Only then they can be alive. Only then they can stay alive. So you all can go ahead and just leave your comment in the YouTube live chat. How do you feel about this compassion that the avatar is just showering? And பாண்டியன் ஐயா, நீங்க தமிழ்ல பேச சொல்றீங்க. கண்டிப்பா ஐயா, தினமுமே நமக்கு வந்து காலையிலும் மாலையிலும் நமக்கு சுவாமிஜியோட பராசக்தி ஆகாஷிக் ரீடிங் இருக்கு. நீங்க அது வந்து தமிழ்ல தான் இருக்கும். நீங்க கண்டிப்பா டியூன் இன் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். So we request everyone to go ahead and post your how do you feel about it. It might be just a few words that you would be describing it in, but understand your experience has a power, and that power is really needed right now because it can save lives. Do not underestimate it. The power of your words, the power of your sharing is going to actually be saving somebody's life. Somebody who just stumbled upon this video might just stumble upon your comment and see that and decide to save themselves. And all the people who are watching, if you're from India or any other South Asian countries, you can come and join us. You can come and join us just to save yourself. Come and quarantine yourself in our Kailasas. Do sign up at kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. Rangarajan Rajanaya sharing Ma Nithyanandam. Swamiji is best in all.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can actually share. Even in more details, you can actually elaborate.
Actually, you can even share. How does it make you feel? Like, see, one is Swamiji cosmically being available, even physically, even when opening the quarantine. It's not just the compassion, it is just one aspect of it. But just to save the humanity, the amount of steps that Swamiji has taken, be it providing all medical services, then free education, free home care, health care, and organic food, and so many things, right? How does it make you all feel when you see an avatar who is not just giving the conscious solutions, the super conscious breakthrough, but even in the most basic level, attending to our every nuances and nitty-gritties in our life, attending to every daily routine that we have, or be it what are the healthcare measures we can take. In every level, Swamiji is extending himself, taking huge steps, making himself available for the humanity, just to protect humanity.
Actually, Kapileshwar Mishra, you have posted how to meet him in his ashram. Please write to me in your email ID. Go ahead and email to us at contact@kailasa.org, and we will let you know how you can get connected to Swamiji. Go ahead and you can put. Prabjot Gill has posted, I'm in Canada. Around me it looks safe. Some people think that it's not real virus. A lot of confusion, but I trust Divine Guru Nithyananda. He will keep us safe. Prabjot Gill, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for that comment. And glad to know that it's safe. But just wanted to let you know also, just Swamiji has warned all of us to stay safe. stay alive. Staying alive is the only purpose for us, and you can ensure that. Rangaraj and Rajane has posted, Swamiji is doing everything possible to save humanity and give them the superconscious breakthrough. Gratitude, Swamiji. Absolutely, Ayya. Thank you so much for sharing all these with us. And you all the viewers also can go on sharing. Now with this, we have come to the conclusion of the segment, and we are going to move to the next segment after a short break.
And today we will not be as today. We'll all be proceeding with the power manifestation session. And this brings us all to the conclusion of the Parashakti Akashic reading. And we will keep, all of you can stay tuned at Kailas's SPH JGM HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. And we will be announcing any other further event there as well. And every day, sharp at 2 a.m. Indian Standard Time in the morning and 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time in the evening, we have these Parashakti Akashic readings available. So please do tune in at 2 a.m. Indian Standard Time and 4:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time for you to be here and witness these extraordinary darshan. So we thank everybody who are here. Let us now get ready, prepare ourselves to enter into the power manifestation session. Thank you.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service, helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. There are some great spiritual sciences unique to Hinduism. Subtle, otherworldly, but definitive sign. Manifesting the cosmic beings in Archavatara, deities in Nijavatara, living incarnations is possible. Understand? Kriya Pada of Vedas and Agamas elaborately explain the whole science of making the cosmic beings manifest in Archavatara, deities and Nijavatara, living incarnations, both. during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, literally those cosmic beings manifest through this body. Just like how they manifest in Archavatara, deity, they manifest in Nijavatara, Pratyakshavatara, and give you all the boons you ask, bless you. You see, each God is an independent intelligence to lead you to enlightenment. Each God is a bridge for you to achieve the Shivatva, the ultimate Shiva consciousness. Krishna is the bridge for you to achieve the Krishna consciousness. But the Shiva consciousness, Krishna consciousness, all consciousness is one and the same. Ultimate consciousness only. So that energy itself completely expresses.
Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it. I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika.
Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. It cleanses the karmas of lifetimes. It awakens our biomemory to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness, and creates a deep and lasting transformation in us.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashian.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hate, at self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. we have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Annual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions.
To you, everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained what is power manifestation as cognitive shift. Here, science of power manifestation. Science of power manifestation is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. It is called science because it is repeatable and doable for anybody if following all these steps, and evidences to show that it is a science. Shastra Pramana, scriptural evidences. The eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas, and the Agamas. Apta Pramana. Aptas are the human beings who on the planet Earth experience the superconscious breakthrough, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. The Aptas are the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas. All of them manifested all the powers of Paramashiva, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation. beautifully Bhagavan has given us all the leelas for us to understand how as a human you can have the superconscious breakthrough, and he also maps everything to the aptas and as per the shastras. Shakshi Pramana, like all of us who have manifested all the powers of Paramashiva. There are millions of disciples, devotees, followers all around the world manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan beautifully says how whoever comes to the Kailash courtyard manifester group simply will manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan usually does not come to Gurukul and initiate. He will just bless in the satsang. And I used to ask, how can just blessing in the satsang in turn come manifestation in Gurukul? So he used to say, Ma, if I program the source code, everything will change into that as the reality. Just like that, whoever comes to the Kailash courtyard will manifest all my powers of Paramashiva, removing all the incompletion and going with the abundance and auspiciousness, flooding with all the compassion and higher cognitions. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Again and again, we have proven scientifically that the disciple, devotees, followers, or Bhagavan himself and Valasans have gone through the scientific study where it clearly shows they are in the thoughtless space. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. The Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and the Agamas. This is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. This is from Shiva Samhita 5.7678.
सकेनापि न घाध्यते तस्य स्यात् परमासिद्धेः अणिमादिगुणप्रदा वायुस्सन्न चरते देहे रसवृद्धिर्भवेद् ध्रुवम् आकाशपनकजगल्तीयूसमपि बध्यते मरणं घाद्यते तेन सकेनापि न घाद्यते तस्य स्यात् परमासिद्धेः अणिमादिगुणप्रदा वायुः स न चरते देहे रसवृद्धिर्भवेद् ध्रुवम् गजगलप्तीयूसमपि बध्यते.
This is from Shiva Samhita for the scriptural reference for Ashtamaha Siddhi, power of increasing the quantity of the water in the vessel. Bhagavan beautifully explains, Paramashiva explains, death is eaten by him, he is eaten by none. He manifests the highest power such as Ahima, Lahima, Mahima, all the Ashtama Siddhi, the Vayu, the wind energy moves equally throughout the body. The juice of the body also increases Rasa Vriddhi. The nectar exuding from the eternal lotus, Akasha, Panakaja, also increases in him. Bhagavan has beautifully given us that when we are born, the death clock is start ticking and it's ready to be in action anytime, any day, anywhere. It just starts closing the whole thing. And we are in such a birth and death destruction cycle. Bhagavan beautifully says, he is eaten by none. And how can that happen when you understand the higher science? How can we higher science help us and manifest as our reality? Again and again, Paramashiva comes down to planet Earth to raise each one of us by entangling with us, because we humans entangle to understand how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, and everything we have learned by only being mirroring neurons that learns and starts manifesting as our reality. We learn from the body language, gestures more than anything else. So we keep observing and imbibing all that from the nature. But when we are in the Vata Varna of the avatar himself, what would we imbibe? The higher consciousness, the superconscious state that he is in, he can manifest in all of us. Again and again, he himself teaches us the science, how we can do step by step. how he has given the detox program for all of us to experience the higher consciousness, doing the Brahma Muhurta Yoga, taking the neem juice, taking the haritaki. Each one gives us the ultimate solution of not just the body flexibility, but something consciously happening in us. And beautifully, he explains to us how we are consciousness. It is not that we are a body, we are praying and something else happened to us. No, we are consciousness, so we exist, and so we manifest our body, so we manifest our mind and execute as our own identity incompletions and chaos that we create around ourselves in spite of Bhagavan manifesting through us. Beautifully, Bhagavan says a story where Krishna, one day, Arjuna had come to his house and Arjuna was sleeping, and Krishna tells the Rukmani to go and wake him up, and she went and never came back. Then Narada goes and he also doesn't return. And then Gopikas come. Gopikas also come and they go, they don't return. Krishna is so curious. What is that which is happening? I'm sending everyone and nobody is there coming back, and how do I eat my breakfast? And Krishna was curious to see what was going on, and he goes and sees where Arjuna in his deep sleep chanting the Krishna Nama, and he was in such a oneness space that he has gone into the deepmost space that all these Gopikas and all Rukmini, everybody mesmerized into that space and completely are lost on time and everything. And so Krishna goes at the feet of Arjuna and starts pressing his feet literally, and Narayana, and Arjuna wakes up to see what's happening and what's going on. Even in his deep sleep, the thoughts were only about Krishna. And everything was about Krishna. Krishna felt so amazing that he was so glad that everything was in rhythm of Krishna. And that is what happens when we understand the deeper and deeper we are again and again that we are Paramashiva. Even our dream, even our the most difficult moment or a beautiful moment, we will remember only Paramashiva. When that happens, that space of oneness takes us to a next conscious space, a superconscious space, where we forget even our body that we are and go into the beautiful oneness space, the bhakti. Bhagavan just doesn't give the bhakti, but he says you should have like Gopikas, Jnana Vairagya Bhakti. What is Jnana and Vairagya? Jnana and Vairagya happens when you are integrated in physically. All the details that you follow, like how Agama specifies, when we follow and practice, like for example, doing the puja, doing the yoga, then the Vairagya comes. Vairagya just does not happen, but comes as with the Jnana. Having the right context, right cognition, the Vairagya happens. When we understand the right cognition, the Vairagya is born, and then from there the Bhakti is formed. Then it becomes eternal Bhakti. Nobody can change it and nobody can tamper it. You will be in such a beautiful, blissful space where you will not get out of that and get into all these worldly problems. Each of us understanding that why we need to follow the Agama, why we need to follow all the instruction that Bhagavan is giving, is to build the Vairagya in us. Why in the puja there has so many conditions that we need to follow is to bring Vairagya. All the details that are given during the rituals is to bring the Vairagya in us, and understanding, from the understanding to build the Jnana, that the meticulous things will happen if we understand the detail of each one of that is given so beautifully. How everything is cooked is not given, but even the vessel, how it is to be treated because of the carbon that will be collected in the vessel, even to that minute detail, Shiva has penned down everything for us. And if he has penned down, Bhagavan says, God comes in detail. And when we get into such detail of understanding, we build the Vairagya. Everywhere we are so on the easy way to do things. This modern plane, we only want everything in a minute. But unless we get grounded into the Vairagya, we will not understand the depth of anything. We will be very superficial and hypocrite. If we understand the depth of why that is happening and how Bhagavan is beautifully sculpting everything, that will be the most beautiful space for us to experience the real bhakti. Beautifully, Bhagavan gives all this explanation to the adolescents and again gives us such wonderful clarity how we need to experience, not just superficial. We see so much of crowd in all the temples, but there is no grounding in them. They just go to the temple and they want to say, oh, I went to temple, but nothing is happening. But where is the Vairagya? To get into the detail how things has to happen. Are they following everything to the dot? That is the Vairagya. And from the context, why things has to be followed and how things has been mentioned, has that detail has been taken into account. That builds the Jnana Vairagya. So beautifully, Bhagavan explains each of these powerful cognition where we understand the much deeper science of power manifestation is from higher context. This is a story of Manikavachakar. He belongs to the 9th century and this is from the Periya Puranam. And here Manikavachakar, how he went and bought all the money that king gave. He went and built the temple that he's supposed to buy horses, because when he saw somebody sitting there and giving the description that all the devotees should build a temple for Shiva, he saw Shiva himself telling him that. He was able to recognize Shiva and immediately he went and built the temple. He did not bother about anything everybody said. The king will hang him, king will give him a royal imprisonment, but he did not listen. And then king came to know this and he sent his men to go and get him to imprison him. But Shiva says, okay, I will get the horses. And he comes in such a beautiful space with such a handsome way, and he comes on the horses to the king and say, here are your horses. Why did you put him in the jail? And king releases him, but the horses, he doesn't stop there. The horses became foxes and went and bit the horses which were original horses also and killed them and ran away. Why he would do all these leela? To showcase Manikavachkar space. Simply Paramashiva is interested only in the space, bringing the best of the devotees. He is more interested in the devotees than we are interested in him. So he brings the best in Manikavachkar by bringing him again to the king. The king asks, what did you do? Again he imprisoned him. Then it floods there and he comes to Vaigai and showcase to how he got hurt from the king, because king hit him because he was not carrying and fixing the flood. Shiva himself came down and he did not do anything. And king experienced, and all of them experienced that hurt when the king hit Shiva, who was in disguise as a normal person, to showcase how the oneness exists, how Manikavachkar is an ultimate soul, and king surrendered and said, I will release him, and simply the flood became normal. If we understand how the land works, how the consciousness works, how the 5 element works, when Bhagavan himself comes down as in human form, how we need to hold that space. We are the most lucky people to experience the avatar in this millennium. We have heard about Rama and Krishna, but never experienced. But here Bhagavan himself has come down in human form, initiating all of us. That is the most biggest blessing for all of us to experience the oneness. Let's listen to Bhagavan himself narrate on the Ashtama Siddhi. Atma Pramana.
The outside, you need to see the boundarylessness inside. The nameless, formless, boundaryless experience had to be experienced inside. Only then it can penetrate your eye and appear outside. Understand the science of the meditation? Understand the science of the whole process? So first, see it inside. Close your eyes. Just be boundaryless inside. See, all your thought starts with a basic idea of your boundary. Unless you have an idea about you can't have thoughts. You understand? For example, if a thought comes, for example, let me go and eat. It means what? You have an idea of me, boundary. So, unless there is a base, you can't have a thought. So any thought happening means you are feeling you have some boundary. Relax from that. Understand? No. Just relax. Constantly relax. Suddenly you will see inside itself you will have the idea of boundarylessness. Then open your eyes. Whatever you are seeing, maybe different color, different shade, different light, different thing. Do not name them. Do not name. For example, this shade, this size is computer. This size, this shade, table. This size, this shape, tablecloth. This size, this shape, throne. This size, this shape, Swamiji. Don't name. Just do not name. Gaze just with that boundarylessness inside. All of you are able to catch what I am saying? Little subtle thing. When I do the process, you'll understand. I'll make it happen. When I do the process, I'll make it happen. You can say these are all the breaking the ice. Breaking the ice. First, inside be boundaryless. Then, when you open the eyes, do not label anything. Whatever you are seeing in front, you don't have to concentrate on me. Please understand, you don't have to center yourself on me. You can look at anything. Just look around. Just do not name. Look at everything. Do not name, that's all.
How Bhagavan says how he experienced the boundaryless, and simply if you understand that science, how he says how we can experience the boundaryless if you understand you are the quantum, the frequency, higher reality, how you exist. If you are an atom and you understand the atom can project itself into your body, project itself into others' body and manifest as your reality, and go back to the original space when you reside back in that space, how it will be. That is how Bhagavan is describing your boundary. You think that is your body, which is not true. We are much beyond and much connected to everything as a whole. If we understand the higher reality, we will be so complete. How we are complete, even the worst thing happen in our dream when we wake up in the morning. Even if the worst person does the worst thing, we do not react at all. Same way, we can also be in the same space if we understand that nothing that happens in the outer world, which is only a birth and death cycle, which is a projected illusion that you are experiencing a dream. If you understand the original how you are is quantum, which does not, nothing is lost and nothing is gained. Everything that exists as it is in a different form, that much higher particle form than what we perceive as frequency, than what we perceive as a gross reality. Gross reality can be projected as we want when we understand from that dimension. Shakshi Pramana. Shakshi Pramanas are the millions of disciple, devotees, followers all around the world initiated by Bhagavan, manifesting the power. Now, the decreasing of the height of your finger, he has shown how the two fingers have changed the length from what it was to what it is. Beautifully, they have shown. And also, you can see how these are Ashtama Siddhis, how this person is manifesting the power of lifting a weight 3 times more than him.
lifted.
I don't mean to be a stickler for form and all this, but when it comes to training, form is everything. You're going to get much more power if you have like exact form. And I can say his form was not correct, but it didn't matter. That's what's shocking, is that you were able to somehow muster the strength without having the correct base.
And Srinivasan Maharaj is just 54 kgs and he has lifted over 115 kgs just like that without any effort.
These are the Ashtama Siddhis that Bhagavan is talking about, where the increasing, decreasing, all that which can be manifested as our reality. Again and again, Bhagavan gives us beautiful understanding how we can decrease ourselves, how Hanuman increased himself and flew across and became such a small thing, then went into the demons and came out of her and said, yes, I've done the whole thing. Now leave me and I have to go and see Sita. He became so small like an atom. He grew like so big that he was able to cross the ocean just by the mantra, the Ramanama. Such a beautiful space, the Ramanama leads to the highest reality, more than Rama. Bhagavan says. The Namas have such powers, how it can manifest the ultimate reality. Here, Bhagavan gives the beautiful guidelines for us to understand the more reality, how we can manifest. If you have a cell phone, please record the whole thing. These powers especially are very physical powers that you can really see it in your camera. And if you have the Jnananjan in your Kantamala, you can apply in your third eye and your temples. And if you don't have, that's fine. You can apply the Basma. And also if you have the turmeric, apply every night so that you can experience that beautiful detox and experience through the third eye all the powers. Bring the awareness to your third eye and place the you can increase the size of your finger and you can measure it and clearly see how it is growing higher. Or if you do not want to do anything with this, you can even have a cup of water and increase the cup of water. But if you can do this, that will be beautiful. You can make a marking of your fingers, how it is both exactly same. And then start working with your fingers and trace your fingers and see how it can grow. And simply all this, make sure it is completely done authentically. The measurement is taken 2 to 3 times so that you don't miss anything and there is no doubt which is created. The power manifestation, only thing we have to take care is no external inputs or any of the tampering of the data, because again we think logically we have to do something. Logically nothing we have to do. That is life. Bhagavan says for life you don't need to think, you don't need to eat. Then how do we exist? How the superconscious being existed, all the 9 Siddhas, how they were able to make prana as their food and how they were able to live beyond sleep, beyond food. Arjuna was a Kutakesha, Lakshmana was a Kutakesha. Kutakesha means somebody who does not sleep. So these were sciences which were happening again and again. And how is that we can experience that? How is that I can learn that and make it a science? That is what Bhagavan is guiding by Ashtama Siddhi. So much of incompletion, Bhagavan says, whether it is a loan or whether it is a fire or incompletion, do not even store a little residue. It will grow so big that you will be lost. Again, you lose your body and again you have to come back to the body, physical body, to experience enlightenment. Again, we have to beg and come back. We have done so many times. Let's use this more smart and listen to Bhagavan how we can manifest all these siddhis, not by Shakti, not by any of our effort, but simply just merging the identity into Bhagavan, and Bhagavan will manifest through us as our reality, as Shaktis. Now, let's go to the instruction. Let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. And bring your awareness to your third eye again and again. Live manifesting through your third eye. Do not live with your lower three chakras, which is always causing the parasites to make decision in your life. Now, scientifically, they say the gut bacteria runs your life 90%. That's what we don't want. Detox your body so that that does not run, but let Bhagwan run my life, manifesting the space of oneness and melting myself into Bhagwan, disappearing into Bhagwan, and just holding that oneness space and manifesting all the powers. And really what is need to be done through us, let it happen as a manifestation, not just this power, but in outer world, bringing auspicious, bringing health, wealth, job, security, whatever we are searching for, fulfilling all that and much more. So let's absolute unclutch from the identity that we carry. These identities are nothing but our delusion. It's not so and so experience Paramashiva. Paramashiva is experiencing as so and so. So all the labels that we have got, put it in a like next guest room or something and come here as only Paramashiva, as Parashakti. Only experience that in your inner space. That is Tyaga, Bhagavan says. Holding the higher reality of yourself, higher cognition that you are a superconscious being. Bhagavan does not say he is God, he says I'm also God, because he refers to all of us as Paramashiva. And intensely chant the Mahavakya. The mantra is the ultimate gift that Bhagavan has given the humanity to raise our frequency, to catch the oneness space and manifest as powers. Let's entangle with Bhagavan beautiful oneness space and chant the Mahavakya intensely, continuously, merge into the hymn, the Parashakti Devi space, continuously happening in our eyes. It's not moving out. Her eyes, her gesture, her love, her caring and meticulously attending to each one every single day and coming and blessing. These are the best blessing that we can experience. Again and again, these great moments that we can never imagine unless we raise ourselves to understand what is given. Till we are a kid, we never appreciate our school or college. But after that, we say, oh, this was very good, that was very good. Like that, we are now not understanding what Bhagavan is showering on the humanity. But as we grow deeper and deeper into Bhagavan's space, we will understand what he is given is unimaginable sacrifice, unimaginable, uncompromisable compassion that he's pouring in each of us. So let's be in the receiving space, nothing for us to do. Be available, that's all he says. Be available for him to manifest through all of us. So that's all we need to do. Let's sit and be in the oneness space with Paramashiva. How Arjuna was immersed in Krishna, same way let's merge into Paramashiva in the oneness space. Chant the Mahavakya with such a joy and such a oneness space and experience the oneness as our reality. And make a note before and after, take a picture, record it, and simply you can share it at the end of the session. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda.
So beautiful. Whatever you have experienced, please verify it authentically. Again, measure your fingers and you can see how it has grown. If there's no change, perfectly fine. You just measure it at least 2 to 3 times. Make sure it is grown at least 5 to 10 units more than what you have seen. If you have measured your height or measured any other object, please measure that also authentically 2 to 3 times. To be very authentic with what we are manifesting is nothing to do with our logic or external help, but only from the space of Paramashiva, who's manifesting as my reality, and learning the science of higher science of consciousness, which can manifest as our reality. And deep completion and deep oneness and surrendering our identity creates that space. Again and again, going into that space of oneness and understanding, if I can, from when we are born, we don't know to walk, and we don't walk for at least a year. And then we start sitting and crawling and everything, and then we start walking. That doesn't mean that we don't know to walk. We surely can walk, but there is a process for us to go through. But animals just walk right after their birth, and we can't compare and say, why is animals walking and why not me? But that's how the evolution happens. Same way, we also can understand there are great saints who have walked immediately after their birth. The possibility exists for each one of us. We have to explore it. It's our decision when we decide to get up and walk, and how we are mirroring, and how the whole Vata Varana is for us to manifest the powers. We will simply do it, knowingly or unknowingly. Whatever Vata Varana, we just manifest that as our reality. Here, Bhagavan is creating the ultimate Vata Varana, the consciousness where you can merge yourself into that space of oneness. And Bhagavan beautifully says, whenever you have Ishtadevata and start feeling that love and devotion, you just merge into that Ishtadevata and completely in oneness, forgetting your body and the mind. That is the space where manifestation is the highest possibility that happens. That is what we do when we sleep. We don't think about our work or plan. We go into the deep sleep. So we are able to unclutch and go into that space. All we need to do is consciously get into the higher reality where the whole space of consciousness merging into that, and with a deep love and gratitude is the shortest way to get into that. That is the feeling of Shaktipada, the oneness space. Again and again, we have to teach that science because we have not been in such a space in our life because of the outer world. So much of distraction. Our attention span is very, very less. So again and again, we have to unclutch and bring ourselves to the devotion, the bhakti, and continuously chant to increase our frequency to experience that oneness space. So we'll have one more cycle. You can measure your fingers again or your height, whichever is comfortable. So increasing the height of yourself or your fingers and seeing how it can manifest as powers, as Paramashiva, Parashakti, the gift that she is giving for us to understand, hey, it is happening for me too. That oneness space that we can experience as a joy. How we go to temples and we experience that very same thing Bhagavan is bringing to your home to manifest as reality. Let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight and merge into Paramashiva, chanting the Mahavakya, bringing that beautiful visualization, verbalization of Devi Parashakti. Again and again, her gesture, her kasamala, her body language, her dance, her authority, her command, her uncompromised compassion. Every gesture that you experience with her, just bring that again and again to your third eye. And let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely to manifest the power of Ashtama Siddhi Mahima power, increasing the finger size.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Let's go to the process of verification and sharing, enriching and causing. Such a beautiful space that Bhagavan has created for all of us, showering all the boons and blessings and auspiciousness being in the Kailash courtyard, simply manifesting through each one of us. Understanding this higher reality brings the deep gratitude into what Bhagavan is doing for each one of us. Please share your powerful cognitions and power manifestation pictures and videos in tinyurl.com/power manifestation. The Kailash Courtyard manifesting pages have lots of manifestation details. You can watch all these videos and entangle yourself into the higher reality. Each of you manifesting all these powers and sharing brings you an expansion space. When you do the causing and enriching for others' reality, simply brings your life to more auspiciousness. And there is a $sign at the end of this beautiful space that we can offer and contribute. Each time you contribute a unit of your currency, you vote for that. And this is the only place where you can vote for your Kailasha space inside you. And how does it help me? It again and again votes that I am super consciousness. And when we are again and again voting for that, we simply fall into the higher reality. Each time we contribute to a temple or a higher cause, we expand in that higher cause. That is what Bhagavan says, and simply manifest as reality. Again and again, surrender all these powers and powerful cognition to Bhagavan's lotus feet so that all this becomes our reality. All the space that Paramashiva that we keep on repeating becomes our existential reality to understand the higher superconscious space. And thanking Bhagavan deeply and earning for such a wonderful space to become our reality. And thanking each and every one of you in this session, manifesting all these powers with a deep gratitude and thanking each one of you. Let's end this session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम तत्सत् सर्वं भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवं पादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ नित्यानन्दम्. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, and thank you for such a beautiful space of all of us manifesting the higher science. Now, please don't forget to share, and after each of these beautiful sessions, morning and evening, we'll be having the Kailash Courtyard, and Bhagavan himself is in the presence of us to experience that oneness, for us to experience the oneness and manifest as powers. So don't miss the moments, and you make sure every day we can experience such a beautiful space. And share it with your friends and family. Ask them also to come and get blessings from Bhagavan. Thank you, Nithyananda.